Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is lesson 2 or unit 2 on Foundations of Design 1. So before the other unit we were talking about line. In this unit we will be talking about creating value and tone using black and white paint. And I'm going to show you a few little tricks you can do with black and white paint. Acrylic paint is what we'll be using. Acrylic paints, you can get cheaper ones that are thinner, or you can get more expensive ones that are thicker. Either or is up to you. You can even thin or thicken some of these paints, which I'll show you here in a little bit. For what we're doing, the cheaper paints will be fine. The difference between cheaper paints and more expensive paints is pigment to binder ratio. The more expensive the paint is, the more pigments it has in it and less binding agents. And the cheaper paints have more like the binding agents and less pigment. And by that means pigment's what makes it the color. Binding agents what holds it together, makes it like oil paint, acrylic paint, or whatnot. So I got my black and white paint, some paint brushes, something to mix the paint with. We're going to be working on Bristol board. Bristol board, you know, is a good mixed media paper. We'll show you some tricks you can do with thick acrylics similar to watercolors with salt and alcohol, water, tape, and paper towels. So, when you're playing with acrylic paint, one of the cool things, and also one of the things that hinders about it is it kind of dries out faster. So to help keep it from drying out as fast, I've lined my palette, which is a paper plate, with a wet paper towel. The moisture from the paper towel will help keep the paint wet and help keep it from drying out as fast. Also, a lot of acrylic artists also have a spray paint bottle where they will mist their paint every once in a while. So I've got me out some black and white paint. One of the first things you have to do is try to make you some grays. And I'll show you a trick to make you some gray color paint. Get a lot of white for the first one. Put it right here, and just a little bit of black like that. And I made a light gray. So I'll take a little bit of this lighter gray and then mix a little more black in it to give me a little bit of a darker gray. See, and I can add a little white to it to make it a little bit lighter. So I got a gray, a light gray, middle gray, and a black. You can mix some more grays if you want to, but that's a nice little like start. And for the demo, that's fine for me. So I'm gonna show you a few little tricks you can do with your paint. This over here. So another thing you can do is create a border with blue tape or whatever type of painter's tape you have. Borders can do something what we call containment, and by containment, whenever you make a border around something, it forces the viewer to look inside of this. So this gives me what we call containment, which forces the viewer to look inside of whatever we are working on. Because when I remove this white tape, we will have a white border, which is nice. Like I said, containment. It adds containment. It forces the viewers to go on the inside. This also will hold this. Okay. I'm gonna get a paintbrush. Use one of these bigger square ones. So I need another square one. I'm gonna use this one too. So there's different types of techniques and stuff you can do with painting, with the paint. I play with acrylics a lot like I would watercolors. So sometimes I can lay down like a wash of this water to help it flow. So I can get some black paint, put down here, and I can make it, let's get a little bit more. More water to that. Wipe my brush off. Put some water up here. I can kind of make it flow. Puddle. Kind of do a gradient that way too. Go down here. Do it like this. Kind of make it flow like watercolor and ink. So these two little tricks I'm fixed to show you. The paint needs to be kind of thinner, so that's why I'm doing it like this, and I feel like I'm making like a landscape on it. So, like you can with watercolors, you can do this with acrylics if you thin it down enough. You can add salt to it to create a texture, like so. Now, when you do stuff like this with the salt, you're gonna have to let it has to dry completely. So it'll take like good 30 minutes or so for this to dry. And after it dries, you take a dry paper towel and you scrape it away. Like if I try to scrape it away now, it's just gonna smear the paint around and it ain't gonna do what I want it to do. Another cool trick you can do, where is my paintbrush, is with alcohol. Well, if I have me another blurb right here. I have another little blurb right in here. And it's still kind of watery. You can get alcohol. I'm gonna pour a little bit in my cup, like here. You can actually use hand sanitizer, but of course, you know, hand sanitizer right now is a little hard to come by. Put that in there. You can drop it like that to make little drops. You can actually touch it, the surface, make it do different little things. Some of the things alcohol will do. You can get soap, mix the paint with a little bit of soap. Let me show you that little trick. So, get some soap. Need some clean water. Actually, you don't need water. A little bit of water, a little bit of soap, and a little bit of paint. I need a straw. Hold one second. Let me get a straw. Well, my paper is taped down, so this trick ain't gonna work too well on that. The cup needs to be smaller, but you can use like a small cup and create these bubbles and go through, like a sheet. Let me try that again. Something like that. I need more paint than what I have, and you can go through and make a texture design on your paper by wiping it. But that didn't. Let me do it this way. See what this does. Well, I didn't quite did it right, but you can use straws and stuff to move things around too. Anyways, you can get a paintbrush, put one color on one side and another color on the other side. Oops, a little bit more black. And you can get it to go do this and mix as it goes down, making light grays. And another thing with your paintbrushes is the more pressure you put, the wider it gets, and the less pressure, the thinner the line. So it's kind of like calligraphy. So a lot of pressure, thick. A little pressure, thin. A lot of pressure, thick. A little pressure, thin. So you can do stuff like that as well. There's that. So, little, lot, little, lot. So that's one way you can control line and movement. And you can use thicker. Also, different types of brushes will do different things. The ones I am using are synthetic, so I can do smooth lines. Like if you get the bristle brushes, like the hog bristles, you will make more mark making. It will be more of the paintbrush showing with the mark making. And here's a few ideas. See this bubble trick? See, there's how the bubble stuff's supposed to work. You see how I made that little bubble stuff? It's kind of neat, different too. I hate that I can't get that to work as well as I wanted. Let's try it again. Let's see what this will do. Oh wow. I'll see if I can do a demo of that other trick here in a few minutes. Anyways, if you have any questions, please ask me. But this is a good, good range. Also, your darkest darks usually in art are right next to the lightest light. So if ever, it's real strong black here, it kind of helps pop it out. Might have like these little white tree things. In here. Paint's very forgiving. Very forgiving. If you don't like something, you can wipe it away or paint back over it. But usually, darkest darks and the lightest lights beside each other. Well, that is all for now. I will talk to you later. Have a good afternoon. Bye.